You know how people say history repeats itself? Well, October 30th didn't get the memo. It just decided to happen all at once. This day is like the Costco sample platter of human history. A little empire collapse here, a nuclear explosion there, and a sprinkle of sports redemption for dessert. It's the day we said goodbye to tyrants, blew up the sky, panicked over fake aliens, and invented time clocks, which means the very first person ever got paid to show up late. So buckle up, because October 30th is where world history looks you dead in the eye and says, yeah, I contain multitudes. Segment 1. The Ottoman Empire finally says, yeah, we're good here. On October 30th, 1918, the Ottoman Empire, that 600-year-old historical group project nobody could leave, finally called it quits. They signed the Armistice of Mudros, which is Latin for, we surrender, please don't make us fill out more paperwork. The empire that once spanned 3 continents was now being divvied up by Britain and France like leftover turkey. The British, in typical British fashion, decided to negotiate the deal alone, because nothing says partnership like pretending your partner doesn't exist. France was furious, which is French for Tuesday. And while this seemed like a clean break, it really just set up the Middle East for a century-long Who Gets What episode that's still airing today. They called it an armistice, but really it was a rebranding. The Ottoman Empire didn't die, it just got sold off in parts like a Radio Shack. Segment 2, the Tsar Who Blinked, Russia's October Manifesto. 13 years earlier, October 30th, 1905, the Russian Revolution got its soft launch. Tsar Nicholas II, facing massive protest and mutinies, promised civil liberties, free speech, and an elected parliament. Basically the Russian equivalent of clicking I agree on a democracy pop-up. He gave the people a Duma, which sounds like a robot from Star Wars, but was actually Russia's first attempt at representative government. The problem? The Tsar didn't really mean it. He revoked most of those freedoms faster than Elon Musk rebrands a platform into chaos. It was the original "we're listening" corporate apology, followed immediately by "we've learned nothing." So, by the time the 1917 revolution rolled around, people didn't want reform. They wanted eviction. And Tsar Nicholas got it. Permanently. Segment 3. GATT and the birth of the global mall. Fast forward to October 30th, 1947. The world's nations signed the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, or GATT. This was the day capitalism got organized, which is like saying raccoons started recycling. The idea was to stop countries from jacking up tariffs like bad exes raising Netflix prices. The signatories, 23 nations, basically said, let's make global trade smoother so we never have another Great Depression. And it worked. Sort of. Until everyone realized free trade really meant your job is moving overseas. But GATT wasn't just about economics. It was Cold War strategy. The U.S. said, hey, if we get everyone rich, nobody joins the communists. It was capitalism's most successful pickup line. Baby, let's deregulate. Segment 4, Tsar Bomba, the Soviet we're overcompensating moment. October 30th, 1961. The Soviet Union detonated Tsar Bomba, the most powerful weapon ever built. 57 megatons of, we dare you to top this. To put that in perspective, it was 3,800 times more powerful than Hiroshima and roughly equal to every Michael Bay movie combined. The blast was so big, it shattered windows hundreds of miles away and made the shockwave circle the globe 3 times. The only thing more pointless than that bomb was Khrushchev's attempt to convince people it was for peace. But here's the irony. This giant explosion of death actually pushed the world closer to peace. It scared everyone so bad, they finally signed the Partial Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. So yes, the most constructive thing humans ever did came after they blew up part of the Arctic. Because nothing says we should stop this madness like watching your sky catch fire. Segment 5. Stalin gets kicked out of the mausoleum. On the same day the Tsar Bomba dropped, the Soviets also decided to dig up Joseph Stalin and give him a less prestigious grave. Nothing like dropping the world's biggest bomb and also saying, hey, while we're at it, let's Marie Kondo this dictator. They removed him from Lenin's side and stuck him near the Kremlin wall, which is Soviet for timeout corner. This was Khrushchev's way of saying, we're not that kind of dictatorship anymore. Now we blow up islands, not people. It's poetic, really. The USSR took out the trash and nuked the sky in the same 24 hours. It was the ultimate Soviet makeover episode, Extreme Regime Edition. Segment 6. Orson Welles invents fake news. October 30th, 1938, Orson Welles went live with The War of the Worlds. He read a sci-fi story like it was breaking news, and America collectively freaked out harder than Facebook moms reading memes. Some listeners actually thought Martians were invading New Jersey, which, to be fair, has seen worse. Newspapers the next day called it mass hysteria, but it wasn't. Hardly anyone heard it. The real panic came from the newspapers themselves, desperate to make radio look dangerous. So yes, fake news about fake news created fake panic, which is peak America. It's the origin story of every "people believe this" headline you've ever clicked on. Welles didn't just scare people, he predicted Twitter. Segment 7, the rumble in the jungle. Ali punches history in the face. October 30th, 1974, Muhammad Ali takes on George Foreman in The Rumble in the Jungle. Ali was 32, past his prime and the underdog. Foreman was young, huge, and hit like a truck full of refrigerators. The fight happened in Zaire, funded by dictator Mobutu Sese Seko, who thought, you know what my brutal regime needs? A pay-per-view event. Ali used his legendary rope-a-dope strategy, which basically means beating your opponent by pretending you're lazy. Foreman punched himself tired, and Ali knocked him out in the 8th round. This wasn't just boxing, it was political theater. A black American hero wins in Africa in front of an adoring crowd chanting, Ali, Bomaye, Ali, kill him. For one night, Ali wasn't just a fighter. He was the embodiment of resistance, grace, and pure swagger. And Foreman, he went on to sell grills. So technically, they both cooked something. Segment 8, from Nat Turner to Jackie Robinson, the long road to justice. In 1831, Nat Turner, preacher, rebel, and symbol of defiance, was captured after leading the bloodiest slave revolt in U.S. history. His rebellion terrified the South so much they doubled down on oppression, banning education and black gatherings. But Turner's courage planted the seed that the system could and must be overthrown. Fast forward 114 years to 1945. Jackie Robinson signs with the Brooklyn Dodgers, breaking baseball's color barrier. 2 men, 1 message. Defiance through different means. Turner fought the system with fire. Robinson fought it with grace, speed, and stolen bases. In a way, they were both revolutionaries, one with a sword, one with a bat. And both proved that sometimes the most radical act is refusing to stay where you've been told you belong. Segment 9, birthdays, death days, and the hero's journey. October 30th is a chaotic birthday party. We've got John Adams, America's original overthinker, born today in 1735. A guy who fought for independence, wrote the laws, and still managed to die thinking Thomas Jefferson was talking trash about him. Then there's Henry Winkler, born 1945, who made the Fonz cool enough to be a verb. He taught America that you can fix a jukebox by punching it, which was basically 1970s therapy. And Diego Maradona, born 1960, the man who scored both the hand of God and the goal of the century. He was like if Shakespeare wrote about soccer: genius, scandal, and divine chaos. But October 30th also said goodbye to 2 mythic minds, Joseph Campbell and Claude Levi-Strauss, who both died on this day. Campbell said, "We all live a hero's journey." Levi-Strauss said, "Actually, your brain is just organizing patterns. So depending on your mood, you're either Luke Skywalker or a walking spreadsheet." So what does October 30th teach us? That endings and beginnings are often the same thing. A czar falls, a sultan surrenders, a fighter rises, a bomb falls, and the world keeps spinning. It's the one day that contains the full emotional range of history. Revolution, revelation, and a little radio-induced panic. From the death of empires to the birth of legends, October 30th reminds us that history isn't linear. It's a loop-de-loop written by drunk geniuses. And if you ever feel like your day's been weird, remember, you probably didn't destroy an empire, fake an alien invasion, or knock out George Foreman before sunrise. So smile. You're doing great.